them all down specifically that this is awesome. This is amazing. Then you're going to have stuff that will bring it all into focus for you, and that's going to be great. And that's what we're going to be doing. We'll be doing the deep dives later. This is a high level one. And so where we want to start is we're going to start with a few things, setting the foundation. First, I want to shout out. I want to make sure, Rob, are you there? Rob, are you on the call as well? The webinar as well?
I'm on, Curtis. Thanks so much.
Outstanding. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing a presentation that I really can't take credit for. Rob is someone who, again, has also had a very long-standing relationship with many of the folks who are many of the key team behind Rippln. He has a magical ability to take all this information, try and bring it down into something that is just very simple and direct. We'll do this. And so, Rob, there'll be time for the presentation. I'll reach out to you because you've also got a great background in team building, not just domestically, but globally. And I want to reach out to you just a couple of times to get your thoughts and your feedback, because I know that you've done a great job of taking all this information and creating a simple way to express it. But I know ultimately, as someone who's building the Rippln has that passion as well. I just wanted to shout out and thank you for what you've done here. But I love to have your kind of feedback and interaction together. So let's do this. As we get started, here's the analogy I want to share with all of you, and I think it will help set the mind frame. I'm sure that there are literally the thousands who are trying to get onto this webinar and who are kind of packed out. For those of you who are here from all over the world, I'm sure if we could be face to face, if I asked you if you knew how to drive a car, most of you would raise your hands and say yes. Then if I asked, how many of you could name every single part of a moving part of an internal combustion engine and exactly how it works, other than the master mechanics, nobody would raise their hand. And why is that? Because it's not really necessary. The question is, how can you possibly get in a car that will take you from your current location, where you currently are, to where you dream and desire to be, if you don't understand how the engine works, because that's what gets you there? Simple. You left the engine building to engine building experts that said, to get where I'm going, I don't have to understand how the engine works. I need to understand how to drive the car. And that's very quick and simple. You get in, you shut the door, start the light, put the key in, turn it on, put it in gear, and you know what? You need to know three things: the steering wheel, the brake, and the gas. Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to really spend time going a little deeper and letting you know that this is not just a car. This is a Formula One racing machine. This is not just any engine. This engine is truly a Formula One pristine, precise racing engine. I mean, it's the elite of all engines and automobiles. However, how to drive is still incredibly simple. And that's what we're going to talk about first: how to drive Rippln. If you know that you're an expert at this, the rest of it as we go through will just open your eyes to the possibilities. And there are three simple steps. The way you drive the Rippln machine, Rippln Formula One machine, is number one: you simply become a master of inviting people to become a part of the Rippln as fans, to engage in the Rippln. That's step one, and that's free for them. When you become a master of being able to invite and get people to engage that invitation, accept that invitation, the masters right now at the Rippln are those who are able to say the fewest words, get the most invitations deployed domestically and globally, and get people to execute those invitations and become fans of the Rippln as fast as possible. The people who have determined how to do that, regardless of what this reward system is, they're building the biggest Ripplns. Why? Because step two, as we start moving towards the next phase, the buzz phase into the advanced phase, the rewards phase that Brian talks about, not everyone is going to want to get into the monetized and incentivized sharing system. Not everyone will. Many people just want to stay free fans. There is a great value in being paid. You're going to have lots of good free stuff that will improve the quality of your life, like the Rippln communicator and other things. You're going to have, as commerce static, you'll have different product offers. But all of us will find valuable in our life. As fans, as you consume those products, make those purchases, they play the Rippln game, you truly get in the game just as a fan. You're able to accumulate those game points, and over time, you redeem those points for rewards that have true value in life. So there will be many people who decide just to remain a fan. That's okay. But there will be those who see the truly long-term potential of moving and doing what we call powering up and becoming a player. Step two, you just help those fans who see what you see, they see what we see, they decide they like to be a player with you, you just help them how to become a player. And we're going to show you how that works today. It's a very, very simple process. And step number three, what do? You duplicate that. You help those players do what you did. And that's it. If you understand how to, if you become good, really good, become a master of those three steps, this plan works. That's how you drive it. You don't have to understand how it works. It will just work. But with that said, let's go ahead and start to dig in. That's all. It's that simple. So just don't get distracted. Instead, get engaged. We're going to show you why it's exciting. We're going to start by laying our foundation with some definitions so that as we go through it, these terms will kind of take. You don't have to jot this down. You're not doing anything. You can take notes. This is being recorded. You read that through different media. We just want you to kind of sit there and absorb and get a feel for what's going on in the rule system. First of all, there's a term you're going to hear us use in the system occasionally called the invited. A person that is directly becomes a part of the Ripple whose ever invitation they accepted, that person is their invited. And they become a part of the Ripple on the very first Ripple of that invite. Okay, that's what an inviter is. The person who sent the invitation, it was accepted. You're going to hear us talk about engagement. Engagement means any activity in the Rippln ecosystem within the last 30 days. Literally, just a fan, a player, anybody, just someone logging in and taking a look at the Rippln dashboard, just saying how big and how far the Rippln reached. That's engagement. If they purchase an offer, that's engagement. If they send an invitation, that's engagement. Now, the Rippln dashboard, that's what we call the simple tracking overview of your Rippln, and that's what everybody's seeing now. In your dashboard, you have access to send invitations. You've got access to see your Rippln counts. And just grab total right, which you can see the total number of Rippln countries. You can send invitations to the system. Okay, that's the Rippln dashboard. However, as we move towards the reward system, you're going to see two other things introduced that really help expand and accelerate the potential of the Rippln. The first is the first system that involves a fee. It's called the RTP, Rippln Tracking Platform. This is an incredibly powerful component today. You want to build huge Rippln. Even as fans, this will give you a tremendous advantage at accelerating and exploding the growth of your Rippln. The Rippln Tracking Platform is a $69.95 U.S. annual charge. But what this does, it implements for you a complete, detailed, and feature-rich tracking system. It will track all of the Rippln growth activities. You'll be able to dig deep. Right now, in the basic dashboard, you see only those you personally invited. And you see grand totals of people, Ripplers, and countries. With the Rippln tracking platform, and this is a choice, you can choose to do this. We'll show you how that works. You're now going to be able to see all the way down into your Rippln, all the hotspots of accelerated activity. You'll be able to see who's truly driving those multi-country and accelerated growth. And then you can reach down with them and help them, communicate with them, say, anything I can do to help, anything that will accelerate the growth of your Rippln. And again, that's an annual charge. That works out to an average of less than $6 per month, but it's just paying once a year. You now get to see the complete detail of the Rippln. And then the next system is called the RRS, the Rippln Reward System. And that's a $25 monthly fee system that will give you access. And what the RRS does, but this is for those who choose to participate in the monetization of the Rippln. They want to share in the monetary incentivized sharing rewards. This then tracks all of the monetary, all the commercial, all the transaction activity in your Rippln, and it breaks it down in details. You can see all of that transaction activity, and you can see exactly how much of that transaction activity you are qualified for and will be receiving as you qualify for the components of that transaction activity. The Rippln reward system specifically is for those who want to participate in the monetization of the Rippln. The RTP is for those who want to see the complete depth of the Rippln to drive accelerated Rippln growth. And those are the only two key components as we move into the incentivized sharing portion. You're going to hear a term called Rippln 1. Your first Rippln, whenever you directly invite someone, whether they're a fan or a spectator or a player, and they accept your invitation, they join Rippln on your first Rippln, which is referred to often as Rippln 1. You'll hear that term. You'll hear the term personal fan. Any person who has personally accepted an invitation and is a fan status, that is a personal fan. Those are the fans on your push Ripple or Ripple. You're going to hear about a Ripple fan. Now, Ripple fans are any fan anywhere in your entire Ripple, whether they're a personal fan or they're in further Ripple beyond. They're fans first invited by others to your Ripple. And finally, you'll hear about a term called Ripple team. And a Ripple team means that any individual, whether they are a spectator, fan, or player, who's a person invited, therefore they are in their first Ripple for your Ripple one. As they build their own Ripple, that creates Ripple teams within your total global Ripple. So, for example, if you have a total number of spectators, fans, and players of 17 people in your Ripple one, those would represent 17 Ripple teams that will build and be developing within your Ripple. Finally, team captain. When a spectator or fan, who are the three participants, if they choose to power up and become a player, whoever the inviter is that introduced that invited them and brought them to the Ripple, that inviter becomes that player's team captain. So that player's team captain. With those definitions, let me go through a couple of other things as we kind of set the stage to now begin going through the reward system. When we move into the reward portion, which and the commercialization portion, which is, again, Brian said, happening very quickly in the next few weeks, there are going to be two types of product offerings that move to the Ripple. There will be so many different types of products or services, virtual products, in some cases even physical products that can be delivered to different markets around the world. And again, we get started, there may be a few, and then dozens, and then hundreds, and then thousands, and then tens of thousands over the years ahead as we build this massive global Ripple. Every single product or service provided through Ripples will fall into one of two product offering program categories. What's called a coaching reward offer or a coaching offer as part of the coaching reward program, or it would be considered a loyalty offer as part of the loyalty rewards program. So just think of it this way. There are two product offering programs. There are two types of reward programs. Coaching reward program, loyalty reward program. And all it means is that every product or service that is brought into the Ripple environment, it will be one or the other. Both. It will be chosen based upon the characteristics and the nature of that product. We'll have to spend a lot of time on that. But it will be chosen to be either a loyalty offer or a coaching offer. And coaching offers, when purchased or sold throughout the Ripple, create coaching reward points. And the benefits, the reward system, the incentivized sharing is provided to players based on those coaching offers are paid weekly. Loyalty offers generate loyalty reward points through the Ripple. And the reward program that then allows you to be monetarily incentivized and incentivized sharing on loyalty offers, those are paid on. So that's the basic definition and overview of things that you'll need to be aware of as we go through the compensation and the reward model. First thing we want to talk about as we talk about the reward model is there are three categories of statuses that we call participants, ranks, and levels. And here's why these are important. If you understand the different types of participants and what defines them, if you understand those who become players, the different ranks, and if you understand the different levels that people move through, then the whole reward model will be much simpler to understand. First of all, there are four types of participants, basically. First, there's what we call a spectator. A spectator is someone who has merely received an invitation and accepted and engaged and executed that invitation. We have completely built this bridge. But a spectator is someone who's accepted the invitation and become a part of it. They've not yet even logged in. They just literally just finished the invitation registration process. At that instant in time, that individual is considered a spectator in the system. The next type of participant is what's called a fan. A fan is just a spectator who's now engaged the platform. By engaged, literally, they just logged in. So you go from spectator to fan potentially within seconds. You finish executing the invitation for the spectator temporarily, and then you log in to the platform to actually look at the Ripple and see your invitations and begin engaging. You're now a fan. As long as someone engages the platform, at least once every 30 days, they always remain in fan status. If someone does not even log in or engage the platform in any way, they will log in, they just take a look and see where things are, and send them they do anything, then they would, after 30 days, days, revert temporarily back to the spectator status. But then if they just log in, just something as simple as that, or they send the communication to the communicator out. Any engagement with the platform, they either become at least a fan status. The third type of participant is called a super fan. And this is someone who makes a decision, like we said before, they really want to accelerate and explode their Rippln. A super fan is a fan. So again, they've engaged, invited, how they've been invited and engaged, but they've made the decision that they do wish to have access to the Rippln Tracking platform. So they have paid the annual $69.95 Rippln Tracking platform fee. Even though they're still a fan, they realize as a fan, if I build a bigger, faster, more explosive Rippln that reaches further through the gamification process, I'm going to get more and more reward points to fan that later I can convert to things that give true value in my life. And so as a super fan, they said, I want to ride my Rippln. And there's great value in that. The value they can receive as a super fan is far beyond the expense of the Rippln Tracking platform. That's a decision people make who really want to go through an accelerated process, but they may not have decided they want to move into monetization. And that's fine. That's certainly their choice. And then finally, the fourth status, or the fourth participant, is called a player. All a player is, very simple to understand, simple chart. A player is a super fan. They're invited to get the monetization and the reward model of Rippln, which means they've been also subscribed to the monthly Rippln reward system, the $25 fee. Now, that system is tracking all of the transaction activity in their entire Rippln, with coaching offer transactions, loyalty offer transactions. So that player is now eligible to be rewarded monetarily. And that's it. There are no other fees. There are no other expenses. There's no other cost to be able to participate and be rewarded financially. For all of those coaching and loyalty offer opportunities that will be happening throughout your Rippln, we get engaged commerce through a very short amount of weeks and can expand it over years to come. There's nothing more than that. Now, what you can do is you can just maximize and increase your potential. We're going to show you how to do that. And that has to do with player ranks. To actually be able to receive the monetary result of being a player, you need to move up through player ranks. Here they are. First of all, obviously, an unranked player is someone who has not yet been able to move into an income receiving. Players can start to accumulate, and they're in a position where they are able to be able to earn all the activity. But there's one thing that is still missing, and that is they need to have created a fan base. They need to have acquired fans and accelerated the size of the Rippln. And here's the way that works. You move from player to what is, hang on a second. As just a player, until you are starting to expand that Rippln, you are in a position where you have the possibility of earning cash, but you're not yet able to convert those reward points that are moving through the reward system to cash. That happens when you reach the first player rank called Pro, and you are now a Pro player. It's very simple. There's no other expense. All there is this. When you, as a player, have 5 personal fans, 5 Rippln fans, 5 people that you have personally invited, and they have accepted your invitation. They're not a player, they're just a fan. Those are 3 folks. They just accepted the invitation and they have engaged the platform. And as long as a player has 5 fans, that they are a pro player. And now that pro player can convert those rewards that they're accumulating because of the loyalty and coaching offer activity throughout the Rippln, they can convert to cash. So again, before we go further, let's keep this in mind. To be a player, it's your super fan, which means you have a $70, $69.95 per year Rippln platform. You have subscribed to the $25 a month Rippln reward system. And then, as the system is tracking all of that activity, if you get 5 free fans, you can personally invite them. As long as you maintain that, well, you can now convert those rewards to cash as a pro player. And we'll show you both the loyalty and coaching offer environments, how that works in just a second. However, there are additional player ranks. Player ranks allow you to maximize the earnings of the activity that is happening in your Rippln. And the next player rank is called All-Star. And All-Star is just like a pro player. They have 5 fans. They are able to convert, but here's how it happens. When you reach the All-Star player status, you are able to increase the rewards on the exact same coaching and loyalty activity in your Rippln by 50%. Now, how do you do that? It's very, very simple. Now, these are for people who want to go make a decision. Everything's just about as much of a decision. I want to increase my reward. Yes, fine, just do this. For coaching rewards, all you have to do is have one personal fan. Just one personal fan who you either have sold or they have purchased a coaching reward offer, a coaching offer, and you will increase your rewards on that offer by 50% on the entire lifetime of that offer in the coaching offer system. If you would like to increase by 50% the reward activity, the amount of rewards and the amount of monetization reward you receive on the loyalty reward aspect of the program, same thing. If you just have one personal fan who you have either sold or have purchased any loyalty reward at any time, then you are able to increase your loyalty rewards paid for that month in that program by 50%. Next, there's the MVP level. MVP is just like Pro. There's nothing more you do. You just need to buy fans. You can convert your rewards to cash, but you can receive an additional 50% increase in the standard Pro player reward for coaching and loyalty activity. And so we're now a total of 100% increase over the Pro player amount. How do you do that? Simple. You make a total of 3 coaching reward sales. That's one sale with 3 personal fans, or one loyalty offer sale for 3 personal fans, and you've now increased by twice as much the Pro player reward amount you receive. Now, let me make sure that before you want to understand. As a Pro player, the only expense is being able to tracking platform, the monthly fee, and that puts you in a business, it puts you in a system where all the systems are working for you. All you do is invite a player, fans, and players help them invite, and that's it. And when you have 5 free personal fans, you can now convert the rewards to cash. There is nothing else that's happening. As your Rippln grows organically, as offers continue to explode through Rippln, as fans, spectators, players, as everyone purchases and benefits from these rewards, and all that reward activity takes place, with no more effort as pro player, you can earn cash and semi-share rewards. The decision is if you would like to actively engage in promoting those rewards, and if you even go through the effort of selling, promoting those to your personal fans, you can increase the reward amount. That's choice. If you decide, no, I really don't want to promote or sell, you don't have to. And you will naturally be paid on the activities that you're looking at. MVP and All-Star are for those who are willing to engage more aggressively in promoting and expanding the sales activity in Rippln, and therefore they get higher reward value. Whether or not you wish to do that is entirely a decision that is left up to you. That's the magic of the program. It's simple, direct, and it's very respectful. Everybody makes great decisions. So everybody contributes to participate the way they wish. And finally, the third aspect is the pro player level. So ranks determine how much you get paid on the qualified coaching and loyalty offer activity for the pro portions to be a qualified offer. Levels determine how much of the activity within your Rippln you get paid on. So ranks determine how much you're paid on the purchase offer, the offer purchases, offer purchase activities. Levels determine how much of the activity you're able to earn those rewards on. Here's the way it works. There are basically 6 levels, 6 pro player levels. Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then All-Star. And how you move up the levels is, again, a very natural process, which you focus on the 3 simple steps of inviting more and more and more. Some people play fans, some become players, and they duplicate, and it grows and grows and grows. Here's what happens. When you have personally invited, you have 2 players in your Rippln 1, and you have 5 personal fans. With 10 total Rippln fans, you're a level 1 pro player. That's a level 2 pro player has 4 Rippln 1 players they personally invited, 10 personal fans, fans in their first Rippln, and a total of 50 Rippln fans in their entire Rippln. Level 3 has 6 Rippln 1 players they've invited. They have 15 personal fans, Rippln 1 fans they've invited, and a total of 150 fans, Rippln fans in their entire Rippln globally, worldwide. A level 4 pro player has 8 Rippln 1 players they've invited, 15 personal fans they've invited, and 1,000 Rippln fans total in their entire global Rippln. Level 5 has 10 level 1 players, 10 personal fans, and 2,500 Rippln fans total for their entire global Rippln. Now, you may have noticed at level 5, the personal fans have decreased a little. Up to level 4, we want people to be maximizing their invitation, because the truth is, many people are just more fans, and then some more players. But as you get up to level 5 and then to All-Star, we realize you're going to be having such a strong, growing, accelerating Rippln that you may need to spend more time helping than you are just fighting. So all you're fighting to make more time helping, so your personal fan requirement is reduced. However, as more fans naturally become players, that growth happens automatically. You don't have to put a lot of effort, not just help people understand it and at least hear itself. And finally, an All-Star is when you have 15 level 1 players. You only need to have 5 personal fans to remain the All-Star level, 15,000 total Rippln fans. Now, let's put this in perspective. We're only about 5 or 6 weeks old. We have people who have never, ever marketed, either in network marketing, internet marketing. They've never done anything like this before. For a matter of literally 5 or 6 weeks, they have hundreds, some thousands. We have college students that have 10,000 of their Rippln, and they've never done something like this before. Now imagine as this Rippln grows next 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. The way you move up in player levels, pro player levels, just do those 3 steps, and teach others to do those 3 steps, and naturally this will happen. So how do you move up in levels? You can be aggressive about it, or you can let it happen organically. It's all a decision. With those 3 things, now that you understand participants, ranks, and levels, let's show you how those ranks and levels will now reward you. As we've said, there are 2 types of programs. There are coaching reward products, coaching offerings, and loyalty offerings, which create coaching reward points and loyalty reward points. Let's talk about the coaching reward products and coaching reward programs. There are going to be types of products that in their nature are probably types of products that are better served when people assist at least their fans in being able to create and enjoy the value of it. Where it's better if individuals help those who are personal value of the products, or they help maximize that value. All of our products or services, anyone who is able to purchase them will be able to benefit from them personally, and none of this is complicated. There may be some things that coaching value really enhances. And we will select those to be a part of the coaching reward program. In some cases, they may be actually those that are more valuable products, those that actually create larger reward profiles, those types of things. But for those products that go into the coaching reward program, here's how you receive rewards based upon your rank as well as level. Here's the way it works. When a coaching offer is sold, when a coaching offer is purchased anywhere in the Rippln, it creates coaching reward points. Those reward points from the person who purchases that coaching offer, the reward points move up through the Rippln, and portions of those reward points are allocated to different ranks and different levels. Here's the way it works. As those reward points move up the Rippln, 5% of those reward points are given to the first level 1 pro player of the Rippln. Now, if that pro player is an all-pro or MVP, then it increases up to an additional 2.5 points for 7.5%. Or if they're an MVP, it's an additional 2.5 for a total of 10%. Then the remaining reward points continue up, and the first level 2 pro player gets 5%. If they're an MVP, they actually end up with a total of 10% of the reward points. And this continues on up until it's reward points have been shared with the first level 3, 4, and level 5. Then, for the first time, the second level 5 pro player also gets 5%, or 10% total if you're an MVP. And then the first, second, and third All-Star up the Rippln receive the remaining reward point payouts based on that coaching offer sale. There were 5 up to an additional 2.5, an additional 5% based on something just pro player MVP. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine, for example, that in fact, I'll just do this right here. Over here. Let's imagine. There we go. Let's say that there's a coaching offer sale. Let's say it's a product that is $200. And let's say, just to keep these numbers simple, that it creates 100 reward points. What that means is that coaching offer sale, those 100 coaching reward points, that means that 5 points would be given to the first level 1 pro player, or a total of 7.5 points would be given to, if there was an all-pro, or a total of 10%, or 10 points would be given to that first level pro player if they're MVP. And this continues up. And so 5 points would be dropped off here. If they're MVPs, now a total of 10, it can drop off here. All the way up to the all-stars. And so this continues. As you accumulate these reward points, coaching reward points are then converted, and 1 point is paid as $1 at the end of that period. Now, coaching rewards are paid weekly. So each week, the total accumulated coaching offer points that you accumulated will be paid to you at your appropriate rank and level in terms of dollars. So if you accumulated through all the coaching offers that you receive points on, if you accumulate 1,000, 2,000, 550, 612 coaching points, you'd be paid $612 at the end of that week. And that's how the coaching offer differential incentive works. However, every time that there are coaching offers, there's also some direct incentives paid every time a coaching offer should offer coaching with another. And the way the direct incentives work is, first, there's a personal fan sales bonus of 10%. If a ranked player, whether they are pro, all-pro, or MVP, it's the same for all of them. When a personal fan makes a personal coaching offer, a 10% personal fan sales bonus is paid directly out of the total reward points issued for that product. Previous example, if there was 100 reward points, then 10 points for $10 was paid directly to the ranked player of that personal fan. And so every coaching offer will generate these direct sales bonuses based upon to the person basically, if it's a player they've been invited to the equipment. Then there's also a matching bonus. Every time a coaching reward incentive of any kind, any of the you saw those previous levels, all those levels of coaching reward incentives, any time a ranked player, and it makes no difference whether that player is pro, all-pro, MVP, anytime a ranked player earns a coaching reward, obviously an MVP earns the highest amount of coaching reward, they've got maximum reward potential. But anytime any player receives any income that is considered a coaching reward incentive, their team captain receives 10% of that as a matching bonus. Now, it makes no difference if that team captain is a pro and the coaching reward was paid to an MVP. That team captain still receives 10%. So even though the MVP earned literally 100% more coaching incentive than just a standard pro player would have, if their team captain is just a pro player, they will still earn a full 10% matching bonus. And that's the coaching offer and the coaching reward program. Now let's talk about products that go through the loyalty rewards program. The loyalty reward program is this. The percentages are similar, meaning as you move higher in level, then the loyalty offers are placed into the Rippln, and it's paid on a generational basis. We'll show you what we mean by that. It's paid based on pro player Rippln. The similar numbers you saw before, 5% paid to a level 1 pro player, 5% level 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., and all-star. And you can maximize those if you're all-pro and MVP. Remember what we said, though, that will determine how much of the activity you get paid on. Your rank determines how much you get paid. Pro, all-pro, and MVP determine if you get paid 5%, or an additional 2.5% for a total of 7.5% of all-pro, or an additional 2.5% for a total of 10% of MVP. So rank determines how much, the levels determine how much of the Rippln activity you get paid on. Here's the way it works. On all loyalty offers, sales activity from the Rippln, if you're a level 1 pro player, you get paid on 2 pro player Rippln. Now, let me do something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch now to another diagram. Here's how I'm going to go up there. Let's do this. Let's take a look at loyalty, Rippln, activity. Okay? let's start with you. Okay, so here you are. Again, here's your first ripple. These are the folks that you have personally invited. Some are fans, some are super fans, some are players, pro players, etc. Okay? Here's their ripple that they've invited. That's your ripple ticket. Here's the next ripple, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a few ripples here and just get you a feel for what this looks like. Right? So here's all the ripples that expand, and many of you have seen ripples that are growing to hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands of people. You've got folks who have all these ripples in countries all over the world. So again, use your imagination. You got folks throughout all these ripples all over the world who continue to just grow and expand. Why? It's simple. Invite a fan for free in an environment that gives them great value in their life. The way it works is this. Let's say that you obviously invited this person and they're a fan. But they purchased one of the loyalty offers because it provides great value to them. And let's say this is the folks they invited, and this person's also a fan. And they have purchased some loyalty offers. It could be downloading apps that we could be downloading, music one day, could be downloading games, any of the loyalty offers that might move through the loyalty program. And let's say this fan here are their folks, and this person is a player. Now they've not yet become pro player groups of players. And these are this is the first ripple of this person right here. And let's say this person's a fan. And finally, this person introduced this person right here. They're a pro player. All of the loyalty activity of all of those individuals is considered, since that's the first pro player, that is one pro player ripple. So all of this activity is one pro player ripple. What that means is that when you're a level 1 pro player, and remember it was very simple, all you had were 2 Ripple 1 players. You had a total of 5 personal fans and 10 total fans in your Ripple minimum. But as your Ripple continues to grow and expand, you'll be paid on all the loyalty activity of 2 pro player Ripples. And that includes all the activity of the fans, all the activity of the fans, spectators, super fans, and players between you and that other pro player. So when we talk about the number of ripples, but in fact, that you can be rewarded on the loyalty program, as you move up in level, it can be significant. It can truly be significant. And here's the way that works. When you get to level 2, you are paid those percentages based upon your rank on up to 4 pro player ripples. Level 3, you're paid on 6 pro player ripples. 6 pro player ripples could go down through 15, 20, 30, 60, 80, 212 total ripples of activity before 6 pro players are encountered in the ripple. At level 4, that's 8 pro player ripples. Level 5, that's 10 pro player ripples. On all of the loyalty reward purchases, all of the loyalty reward consumption of all fans, all spectators, all super fans, all players, through 10 pro player ripples. And then he goes, right, it's unpaid pro player ripples. What that means is, let's say that you are a level 5, and you're qualified to receive 10 ripples of pro player loyalty activity. All compressed, all those people in between 10 pro player ripples. If someone on your second ripple, they're pro player also, but they're only on level 2. They only earn rewards on 4 pro player ripples. You earn rewards on 10. Well, when you become an all-star, that's when it gets exploded. An all-star is paid on 10 pro player ripples just like a level 5 pro player. However, an all-star also earns all of the unearned pro player ripples as far as the ripples go, without limit to the next all-star. In other words, if an all-star has a level 1 pro player who gets 2 ripples of pro player overall, the all-star is paid the other 8 ripples of that level 1 pro player. That is the power of being an all-star. Again, how do you get there? It's very, very simple. You follow 3 simple steps. You invite fans. You help fans who wish become players. You help players invite fans. You and those players become pro players. If you decide that you wish to be more aggressive, it's your choice, then you engage in the promotion and sales of offers to your fans. If you wish to let it just happen organically, that's fine. But as you teach others to follow these 3 steps, as the ripple grows and expands, as the excitement grows and literally explodes, as the ripple momentum, the ripple vibration that is being felt around the world, just builds and builds and builds and builds just the world. The movement up through the levels is what happens organically by those who stay engaged in this process. And if you look at this compensation model, as you see more detail come out about it, and as you get more and more familiar with it, what it means is that everything was designed so that if you do these things, the rest of it happens naturally. Offers become available, fans, players, super fans, we will just choose the offers that make sense for us and give greater value in our life, and we will not choose the offers that we're not as excited about. As the offers expand and expand, many more offers are purchased and used by so many people that are creating great value. All of that activity, whether it's a coaching offer or a loyalty offer, is you receive incentivized sharing based upon what your rank, what your level is. That's the power and magic of the Rippln compensation model. Anyone can do it because these 3 steps drive a Formula 1 racing machine. Whether you have experience in marketing or not, these 3 steps are still what everyone is doing. Some may do it bigger and faster because they've chosen and made a decision to be a little more aggressive. Some are doing it a little smaller and slower, but even small and slow can introduce someone who chooses to go big and fast. And the rewards on that person's choice will be tremendous over time. And so here's what I want to do. I want to take a second. And Rob, you, by the way, thanks so much. You put together just a beautiful, simplified, brilliant presentation here. And of course, as we continue to add more stuff, it'll be even simpler for people to dig into the depth and then even understand more detail of this. What we hope is that the people have seen what you're not seeing. And let me kind of give your impressions, because as you first saw this and started thinking about, I need to try and simplify as you do, but you shared with some thoughts you had about the smile. You were really smiling about the fact that as you were doing it, I'm going to try and make it a little simpler, but the power is what we're going. Now, if you can take a moment to share, because I know you've got a background, you've built your teams globally and domestically, you've got a lot of experience in the power of team building, and that's really what Rippln is, about building a team, building a time with other teams, people around the world. Kind of share some of your thoughts as you're putting this. I think it'll put a good perspective on it as we kind of move towards the end with this compensation.
Curtis, thanks so much. You did a phenomenal job. Can you hear me okay?
We can. Just make sure you definitely speak up a little, and that'll help a bit. So you're coming through.
You got it. Well, look, I just think you did an incredible job. I want to thank Brian for having the vision, but I also want to thank you for really kind of putting it together. It's all as a team effort. And I think if you watch this over and over, it's all going to come back to these 3 simple steps: inviting fans, helping fans become players, and helping players invite fans. And the reality is we're already doing that. What we're ultimately doing is creating an audience. The fact is, I didn't know I was creating an audience with Twitter, with Facebook, and now all of a sudden, people pay attention to my tweets. They may like that message I send out or that recommendation, and then they share it or they retweet it. And the reason that's exciting is because now we've monetized that equation. And so what I see here, and I just want to hit this one more time, is you need to choose at what level you want to participate. I think it's obvious that when you see the coaching rewards, when you see the loyalty rewards, and what does that mean, that everybody's going to want to be a pro player. They're going to want to get involved. They're going to want to maximize their potential. They're going to want to create that audience far and wide and then profit from it through offers. For example, I can't tell you how many people have asked me, what are you doing with your son and his football skills? Well, we've got an online coach that is an expert in wide receiver drills. Imagine if we push that out to people. I've got a friend, Jeremy Boone, that has a book series that he does an audio book that says, play your best, parent your best. I know personal development is very big to me and my kids, and I just think the coaching rewards program has so much to offer, but then also when you look at the loyalty rewards program, these are tangible products, be it a favorite song, an album, maybe it's an energy drink, maybe it's a t-shirt. It really can be anything that we push through here, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. At what level do you want to participate? and then what rank, meaning that determines the amount of monthly income you can earn on the Rippln activity, or the activity in Rippln, and then at what level, how far and wide do you want the amount of your Rippln activity for you to earn income. So I think we've kind of nailed it down to those 3 points. Participate, how much do you want to make on that participation, and then how far and wide of your Rippln activity do you really want to earn income. And so if you narrow it down to that, keep it to these 3 simple steps of inviting fans, helping fans become players, helping players invite fans, put all that together, relying on the company, as we know they're going to push incredible coaching rewards products, loyalty rewards products. We're going to continue to simplify this message. I think after watching last night to today, the light bulb's coming on more and more, and I think that will happen with other people. So please, make no mistake, this is going to get easier and easier, but at the end of the day, not only keeping it to these 3 simple steps, but when the offers become available and you see yourself naturally promoting something that you're passionate about, and you see people buying it because they're already buying stuff you refer, recommend via Pinterest or Facebook or Twitter, you're going to see how this all comes together. It's software on the back end will do all the calculating. You can look and see what you're worth, what your potential is, and ultimately the activity that you create throughout your entire Rippln and the reach of that social graph. So Curtis, again, I want to throw it back to you. I can't thank you enough. That was just a great job going through it. I think it's becoming clearer and clearer to people. And then at the end of the day, once we launch those offers, people are really going to hone in and understand why it's so important right now for us to reach that march to 1 million, for us to go out and share this with each and every one that we can. So thanks again, Curtis.
Thanks, Rod. I appreciate that. And here's what I want to do. Here's how I want to wrap it up. In fact, I intentionally saved this to the very end because, you've got an hour-long webinar to go through. You have some people who make it in early, get excited, they can't stick around, and whatever it may be. But for those who are here, because sometimes people are asking, well, can you give me a specific example? So I gave you a general example of a coaching award. Let me show you a powerful loyalty Rippln activity. So, and this will be the last thing I'll leave you with, and we'll wrap this up, and I think this is what will keep people awake at night. So if we take a look at the steps, they're very simple, okay? Step number 1, you invite, and people become a fan, basically. They become a spectator, but the minute they log in, they're a fan. Step number 2, those who wish become a super fan because they want to see their Rippln. So right here, at the fan level, those mean that we have now expanded the Rippln. And whether it's a fan or a super fan, either one, the key is that for become a pro player, which is where then you actually receive, as a player, you're eligible to accumulate those reward points. So a pro player gets paid on those reward points. What is a pro player? A pro player has 5 or more. You can have 555,000 dollars. So a pro player has at least 5 plus, at least 5 or more fans or super fans. That is a pro player. What that means is that one individual has expanded the Rippln by at least times 5. Now, we know people who already have 63 fans and 128 fans, 264 fans, because they just invited a lot of people. The average person has over 200 people in their mobile phone. Some, like myself, is more like that. They have a lot. But the point is, you only need to have 5 to be a pro player. Let me tell you what that means. As a pro player, you have truly value. Because in a platform like this, if you take a look at Facebook, if you take a look at Twitter, if you take a look at Pinterest, if you take a look at Instagram, one of the things we talk about is the value is in engaged eyeballs, which is called engaged eyes. When you have engaged eyes, that's why these companies have the $1 billion and some of them tens of billions of dollars plus values. It's not just having eyes, it's having engaged eyes. Remember, by definition, a fan or a super fan means they are at least engaged. And to be a pro player, person to 5 times yourself minimum. Minimum. So you, as a pro player, have brought value to the Rippln graph. That's what we say in all of the information. It's about the value of your social graph. And you, as a pro player, have demonstrated specifically that you multiply the value by at least 5. Some people have multiplied it by 236 times, and they're still going. As a result, this value, Rippln believes, and is justified and believes should be rewarded. Let me share with you one particular loyalty reward that happens on a monthly basis. As your Rippln goes throughout all the Ripples, without limit, all the way, every pro player, so every person in your Rippln who is a pro player, wherever they are, all the pro players, this means that specifically the system can identify that every one of these individuals. And imagine, now it's the dream of it, it's a very small little picture, but imagine this picture when you have hundreds of pictures and tens and hundreds of thirties and hundreds of thousands of people in countries that you never even knew existed, territories, islands, and where you got all that activity. But they are pro players. That means now, a lot of people are going to be fans. Some are going to be super fans. That's fine. Some are going to have no engagement at all. They're just going to be a spectator. And if they log back in again, they go to a fan. But that's okay. They're going to be fans. That's fine. Not that we love it. In fact, there will be hundreds of millions of fans. That's great. Great. Massive value of the difference. But for all the pro players who see what you see, believe what you believe, and choose to expand by at least 5, every single month, a pro player, by definition, the company is going to put into the Rippln 13 every month. Every month, they're going to put 13 loyalty points because that means that during that month, that pro player makes sure there were at least 5 engaged eyeballs. Imagine when there are billions of pro players. That means there are 5 times billions of engaged eyeballs, and imagine the value alone of the different platforms, the value of the different social graph, just because of the engaged eyeballs. I'm not talking about any of the other coaching offers, products, and services, any of the other loyalty offers, products, and services. I'm talking about the value of those engaged eyeballs. Every single month, there'll be 13 loyalty points just because the pro player remains engaged eyeball. Now come up here and let's imagine that you are that all-star MVP pro player. You're getting paid 10% through 10 pro player Ripples, and you are getting paid all of the unpaid Ripples of activity until you hit another all-star way out here where that is. That means at 10%, that would be $1.30 from every single pro player everywhere in your Rippln, down 10 Ripples of pro players, and then all the unpaid pro player Ripples without them, all the way to another all-star, through every Ripple invitation line into your entire Ripple. Just the value of the royalty reward points based on pro player engaged eyeball value that you create. That's one thing we're wrong. And that's just one thing. Now imagine that there are hundreds of times in all the games, the in-app, the in-game transaction, through millions of people in the Ripple, throughout the Ripple that spans the globe. There are all the coaching offers, all the other stuff. And now imagine how powerful the Ripple is. That is the power of Rippln, and that's why we are so excited. The game is on. Are you ready to play? Again, over the next week, you're going to see much more details as the media and other things come out to show much more detail about this computational reward model and how it works and the specifics. What you should be right now is so exciting you barely stand still. What you should be planning on doing the minute we conclude this webinar in just a couple seconds is how many can I now go invite? And as Jonathan said last night, here's what you do. go ahead and fight 5 today. Make 5 calls, don't get off the phone until all 5 accept the invitation. And then tomorrow make 5 more. The next day make 5 more. Teach that through your whole team. And you will see your ripple move when that culture happens. Following those 3 simple steps, you will see your ripple create a game for you like you never imagined in the wars that will go on. So I want to thank Brian Underwood for kicking this off. I want to thank him and the entire Rippln management and programming and just committed team. I want to thank Rob. Thank you for